We've heard it for about 4 years now that the real estate market is gonna crash and that real estate prices are gonna come plummeting down. Well, I haven't been holding my breath and I won't be anytime soon. So in this video, we are going to discuss what my predictions as a realtor who will sell just under $50 million in volume and over 100 houses in 2024 predicts for the 2025 real estate market. We are going to cover things like 1, the national housing market, 2, our local market here in the upstate of South Carolina and what that means for you and why it's important. Let's do it. As always, my friends, my name is Sawyer, your friend in real estate here in the upstate of South Carolina, and it's our goal with this channel that we are your #1 resource for all the things that you need to know about your relocation to the upstate. We aim to provide you with the most reliable, the most practical, and the most relevant information that you can find on the internet about the upstate of South Carolina. If you like this information, do me a favor, email me at my email below. When you decide to relocate to the upstate, I would love to be the realtor that you choose to work with. And first up, let's talk about the national market in 2025. Well, for years, real estate gurus, real estate savants, and real estate experts alike have sounded the alarm on the housing market. They've told you to wait and don't buy now, because if you buy now, you're going to be buying at the top of the market, soon to discover that real estate prices will start to plummet. Well, what's happened in the past 4 or 5 years? Real estate prices have gone up significantly, affordability has sharply decreased, and now we find ourselves in an interest rate environment where it's about 100% more expensive to own a property month to month today than it was 2 or 3 years ago. Interest rates right now are hovering in that 6 to low 7% range, whereas a few years ago, they were in 3 and 4%. I've even had clients get locked in for 30 years at 2.75%. While annual home sales have dropped about 42% since 2020, buyers and sellers are still transacting and prices are still going up year over year. Year to date, across the board in the United States, prices are up about 4%. Just this year in 2024, the median price of a home here in the United States is about $400,000, whereas in 2020, the median price of a home was about $300,000. According to the National Association of Realtors, homeowners who have owned a home during this time and since 2020, on average across the country, have seen their net worth increase by about $150,000 just in 4 years. And according to the National Association of Realtors, the job outlook across the country in 2025 is looking pretty strong. We are expected to add about 2 million jobs across the board here in 2025. And they also predict that home sales by units, so total units sold, is going to increase about 9% in 2025, and in 2026 increase even more at roughly 13% year over year. And from a price perspective, homeowners over the last 4 or 5 years have seen their net worth jump by about $150,000 just by owning a house. And that's largely due to the rate of appreciation that we've seen over the last 4 years. Some years we've seen 20% appreciation, 10% appreciation, 8% appreciation. Well, in 2025, the NAR predicts that we will be in that 2 to 3% appreciation range, which is more normal. In my opinion, in 2025, the Southeast real estate market is going to continue to fare very well for a few reasons. Number 1, net migration trends. So if you look at maps according to United Van Lines or U-Haul, where are most people moving from and moving to? Well, if you look at these studies, you'll find that the majority of people are moving from states in the Northeast or way out west and coming to the Southeast, whether it's South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and everything in between. And why is that? Why are so many people moving to, say, South Carolina, and specifically our market of Greenville, South Carolina? Well, our cost of living is 9% below the national average, just to name one thing. And what a lot of my past clients will say to me in our initial phone call is that, hey, we don't need to live here anymore, we can work remotely, or hey, we don't need to live here, we're sick and tired of these bitter cold winters that last for 6 or 7 months. Or hey, these property taxes or this cost of living is just getting out of hand. We want to be able to maximize our life, maximize our retirement, and actually enjoy our life. So it's no surprise that when you look at these studies done by Pods or U-Haul or United Van Loans, that you're seeing these people move out of these more restrictive states from a policy perspective, from states that have more extreme weather, from states that have a much higher cost of living, because they want to live their maximized life, and they feel like they can do that here in the Southeast, specifically South Carolina, and specifically the upstate of South Carolina. And secondly, what type of people are moving here? Well, my clients are young and old. And as I mentioned in my previous video, the state of South Carolina is expecting to add 250,000 jobs by the year 2030. Many of my clients who are still working are either working remotely or they're relocating for work here to the Greenville area. Our skilled labor force is very well-rounded. Our major industries are education and healthcare, as well as manufacturing with companies like BMW and Michelin. And my clients who are either one, retired or empty nesters, like I said, they don't have to live where they live anymore because they are no longer working and they're no longer strapped to the tens of thousands of dollars that they're paying in property taxes and insurance per year, the steep cost of housing, the steep cost of gas, and they don't have to experience these bitter cold winter months anymore. I mean, in fact, I spoke to a young couple from California a few weeks ago, and for a property that's less than a third of an acre and a property value of around $1 million, they are paying $24,000 per year in taxes and insurance. Can you believe how crazy that is? I mean, I can't think of a single neighborhood in Greenville that you're gonna pay that type of property tax and insurance on if you were to own a home, much less $500,000 and not even $1 million. For example, if you were to buy a $1 million property here in our area, you're probably looking at a $5,000 to $7,000 property tax bill per year. And that's excluding if you're a person over the age of 65, or if you're a disabled veteran, or a disabled police officer, or if you're a legally blind person, then you could qualify for the homestead exemption, which would greatly reduce your tax bill per year. And third on the list, let's talk about monetary policy. So as far as interest rates go, chief economist for the National Association of Realtors thinks that we will see a slight decrease in interest rates in 2025, but it will not be the sharp decrease that everybody's hoping for. With the new administration coming in, the economy is forecasted to do pretty well. So there's really no big incentive to drop rates to stimulate the economy and to drive the housing market even further. Since the economy is going to do well, interest rates, in my opinion, will probably hover around that 6 to 7% range for the foreseeable future. So if you're betting on interest rates to drop, I would not hold your breath. And despite interest rate trends, about 25% of buyers in today's market are paying cash for their homes. This is because a lot more people have a lot more equity in the property that they already own. So they are selling that property and trading into a much more affordable home. And 25% of the time, they're going to be able to pay cash for that new home. So now let's talk about our local housing market here in the upstate. So year to date in 2024, we've seen about a 4.2% appreciation in prices and a 6% increase in closed sales from 2023. And this is a stark contrast to other markets across the country, for instance, Austin, Texas, or places in Idaho that have seen major price corrections and a sharp decline in closed home sales. I think that's because Greenville and Lake Keowee and generally the upstate of South Carolina remain as desirable as any part of the United States. Here in Greenville, the average price for a home is about $385,000, which is about 4 or 5% lower than the national average. And Lake Keowee remains as one of the most coveted destinations in the entire Southeast and probably the entire United States. So what are my predictions for the Greenville market in 2025? I'm predicting that we'll see appreciation in the range of 4%, and we'll also see closed sales up probably around 5%. So far this year in 2024, each subsequent month has seen an increase in inventory, which is interesting because we've also seen an uptick in prices and in closed sales. You would think as inventory increases, prices would start to slip and closed sales would start to fall. But I do think that's a net positive for the market. See, a lot of homeowners are locked into their homes, having an interest rate of 5% or below. 75% of mortgages in the United States are at 5% or below. As inventory increases, these people who are locked into their houses also have more options to choose from. So it incentivizes them to also move. So it's no surprise that as inventory increases, these people start to move also, which further increases inventory. I think that's going to continue to happen as interest rates hover where they are, if not trickle a little bit less. People are kind of settled into this new market that we're in. And I do think the Greenville housing market is going to continue to do well. So what does all of this information mean for you? So if you're someone who's looking to sell their home where they are and move to a more affordable, better cost of living, less restrictive place, for instance, like Greenville, South Carolina, or Lake Keowee in 2025, we would be honored to help you. A significant portion of my business is helping folks just like you from out of state relocate to our area, whether it be Greenville, Spartanburg County, Anderson County, or Lake Keowee, and start living your maximized life. My clients are folks who are empty nesters or retirees, or they're young families who are looking to move to the area because they can work remotely or because they're relocating for work. We have a strong education system. We have a strong healthcare system. There's an abundance of things to do here in the upstate, whether it be go to the beach, which is 3.5 hours away, go to the mountains, which is an hour away, or spend your weekend downtown Greenville, walking the Swamp Rabbit Trail, going to coffee shops, going and getting a nice dinner, or spending time at one of our many parks. If this sounds like something that you're hoping to do starting in 2025, please do me a favor, reach out to me at my email below or shoot me a text at my cell phone number below. I would love to chat with you about what your relocation to Greenville or Lake Keowee could look like in 2025. As always, my friends, my name is Will Sawyer, your friend in real estate, and until next time, stay safe. Well, this video is going to be about Greenville County, the upstate of South Carolina. Great thing to do and easily in the evening. I'm a local real estate expert here in the area. All time, we're right behind me is a really cool place called Freight Yard.